We believe that every stage of life deserves dignity, security, and peace of mind, and our golden years should be filled with respect, clarity, and meaningful connections. Today, however, we need to hit pause on the usual lighthearted conversations and address a serious and deeply personal topic that impacts countless seniors around the world. Seniors, 5 people you should never trust or be kind to. This isn't about becoming fearful or suspicious of everyone. It's about protecting your emotional well-being, financial stability, and independence in a world where, unfortunately, not everyone has good intentions. As we age, we often gain a deeper understanding of life, relationships, and values. Years of experience make us wiser and more grounded. But that same life stage can also open doors for others to take advantage, especially if we've been raised to be polite, generous, and always helpful. For many seniors, this desire to stay connected, to feel valued, and to avoid conflict can become a vulnerability that dishonest people know exactly how to exploit. Whether it's a scammer calling under false pretenses, a manipulative neighbor, or even a family member pushing boundaries, knowing who to trust and when to say no is not just important, it's essential. This episode is not meant to scare you, it's meant to empower you, to remind you that setting boundaries is not rudeness, it's wisdom. That saying no when your instincts tell you something feels wrong is not selfish, it's self-care. And that being kind-hearted does not mean being naive or available to be used. Today, we're going to shine a light on the 5 types of people that seniors should be extra cautious around. We'll look at the psychological tactics they often use, how to spot red flags early, and most importantly, how to stand strong with clarity and confidence. Whether it's someone who tries to guilt-trip you into giving money, a too friendly stranger with a fake story, or a caregiver who gradually tries to take control, you have the right to protect yourself, your home, your peace, and your financial future. At Senior Buzz, our mission is not just to inform, but to equip, to be your guide in a world where things are changing fast, where scams are becoming more sophisticated, and where emotional manipulation can sometimes wear a friendly face. But with knowledge comes power, and with community comes strength. So let's dive in together. This isn't just a warning, it's a shield, and today we hand that shield to you. Aggressive salespeople or telemarketers, masters of pressure and deception. One of the most common and dangerous threats to senior safety, both emotionally and financially, comes from aggressive salespeople and telemarketers. These individuals are not just trying to sell a product or service. They are often trained to manipulate, confuse, and pressure you into making quick decisions that you'll likely regret. They rely on creating a false sense of urgency, using emotionally charged language, or offering deals that sound too good to be true, because they usually are. Whether it's a limited time offer, a special senior discount, or a warning that your account will be closed unless you act now, these high-pressure tactics are designed to override your instincts and push you into handing over your money, credit card number, bank details, or even personal identity information without having the full picture. For seniors who value politeness and were raised in a time when answering a phone and listening patiently was second nature, this kind of manipulation can be incredibly effective and devastating. These callers can sound friendly, respectful, or even caring, but behind the smooth voice is often a script carefully written to take advantage of your trust. Sometimes, these calls come not just once, but repeatedly, wearing down your resistance. Other times, they might pretend to be from well-known companies like your bank, Medicare, or a trusted charity, making it even harder to say no. It's important to remember, you are under no obligation to listen, respond, or purchase anything from anyone, especially over the phone. Hanging up is not rude, it's responsible. Saying no thank you and ending the call immediately is a sign of strength, not impoliteness. You don't owe them your time or explanation. If you're ever unsure about a call or offer, never make decisions on the spot. Ask for something in writing, talk it over with a trusted friend or family member, and never give out your bank details, social security number, or address unless you've initiated the contact. and absolutely trust the recipient. At Senior Buzz, we urge all seniors to consider using call blocking technology, screen calls from unknown numbers, and even register with your national Do Not Call list. And always remember, real companies do not pressure you to act right away. Scammers do. Stay informed, stay alert, and trust your instincts. They're sharper than you think. Strangers offering help without being asked. Not everyone has good intentions. One of the more subtle and insidious tactics used by those who seek to manipulate or exploit seniors is the well-intentioned stranger, someone who offers assistance or help without being asked. Whether it's an unsolicited offer to help carry groceries, provide transportation, or even assist with home repairs, these seemingly kind gestures can quickly turn into dangerous opportunities for exploitation. While many people genuinely want to help, it's important to understand that not everyone has your best interests at heart. Strangers who approach you with unsolicited offers may have hidden motives, and their help can often come with a price tag, one that may be far greater than you ever anticipated. For seniors, particularly those living alone or feeling isolated, the appearance of a stranger offering help can feel like a welcome relief, a moment of connection in an otherwise quiet day. However, it's crucial to remember that genuine help should always be voluntary, not pressured. Strangers who approach you, especially in vulnerable situations, may try to gain access to your personal space, finances, or even your trust by wearing down your defenses with kindness or a well-rehearsed story. The act of offering unsolicited help can often mask a deeper agenda, such as gaining access to your home, manipulating you into handing over money, or creating situations where they can take advantage of your generosity. These individuals might insist that they're just being neighborly, but the truth is that they could be searching for a quick and easy way to exploit your trust, whether it's by overcharging for services, gaining access to your personal information, or even pushing you into making a quick decision in their favor. Their goal is not to help, but to gain something for themselves. What's even more concerning is that strangers offering unsolicited help may attempt to manipulate your emotions to make you feel guilty or indebted. For example, they may say things like, "I'm just trying to make sure you're okay," or "I'd hate to see you struggle with this on your own." These comments are designed to put you in a position where you feel obligated to accept their help, even if you don't need it. So, how can you protect yourself in these situations? First and foremost, trust your instincts. If something feels off or too good to be true, it likely is. Never allow a stranger to enter your home or offer to assist you with something that you haven't requested. Be cautious when someone insists on helping you or makes you feel uncomfortable by pushing their services upon you. If someone insists on helping, ask them for identification or proof of their qualifications, especially if they're offering something that could affect your home, finances, or personal well-being. It's perfectly okay to say no and let them know that you don't need any assistance. Additionally, always inform a trusted friend, family member, or neighbor if you have any concerns about a stranger's behavior or if you're uncomfortable with their offers. At Senior Buzz, we encourage seniors to set firm boundaries and never feel guilty for rejecting help that wasn't requested. Your home, your life, and your peace of mind are yours to control. Stay alert, be wary of unsolicited offers, and always err on the side of caution. Family members or close friends who put you under pressure, trust but verify. One of the most difficult situations to navigate as a senior is when family members or close friends begin to put you under pressure for financial help, favors, or decisions that may not be in your best interest. These people may be those who have been part of your life for years, and the emotional bond makes it incredibly difficult to say no. Unfortunately, the familiarity of these relationships can be exploited by those who might try to manipulate your goodwill, your love, or your sense of obligation for personal gain. Family and close friends can sometimes ask for financial assistance, a loan, or even a gift, making it hard to refuse. However, it's important to recognize that your emotional Well-being and financial security must come first, regardless of who is making the request. The pressure to help loved ones can often lead to feelings of guilt or obligation, but it's crucial to know that setting boundaries in these situations doesn't mean you're being selfish. It means you're protecting yourself from emotional and financial harm. Some people in your inner circle may not always have the best intentions, even though their requests may seem genuine at first. They might use emotional blackmail, playing on your guilt or fear of rejection, to get what they want. For instance, they may say things like, "You know how much I've done for you," or, "If you really loved me, you'd help me out." These types of statements are designed to make you feel responsible for their well-being, even though they are ultimately manipulative tactics. There are also instances when family members or close friends might subtly pressure you into making decisions that aren't aligned with your best interests. For example, a loved one might try to convince you to sign over control of your financial assets or change your will in their favor, all while claiming it's for your own good. This type of manipulation can be difficult to recognize, especially when it's coming from someone you trust. If you ever feel uneasy about a request from a family member or close friend, it's important to take a step back and evaluate the situation calmly. Don't rush into decisions just because someone is pressuring you, and remember that you always have the right to ask for time to think about it or seek advice from a trusted third party. You should never feel forced into handing over money or making important decisions that you're not comfortable with. One of the best ways to protect yourself is by being transparent with others about your boundaries. Let family and friends know that you're prioritizing your financial security and emotional health, and don't be afraid to assert your right to say no. Having a clear understanding of your limits and communicating them firmly can prevent you from being taken advantage of. In the end, true friends and family will respect your boundaries and understand that you need to make decisions that protect your well-being, both now and in the future. Trust your instincts, stay calm, and remember, it's okay to say no, even if it feels uncomfortable. Your peace of mind is worth more than any favor or request, no matter who is asking. Online friends or romantic interests, a rising threat for seniors. How to stay safe from romance. Scams. The internet has opened up new avenues for people to connect, especially for seniors who might be seeking companionship or friendship. However, along with the benefits of online interactions comes a significant danger: romance scams. These scams are one of the most dangerous and prevalent forms of online fraud targeting older adults. Scammers prey on seniors' emotions, especially those who may be experiencing loneliness, isolation, or a desire for companionship, and use it to manipulate them into giving up their money, personal details, or both. Romance scams typically start with seemingly innocent online interactions, where an individual reaches out through social media platforms, dating sites, or even email. The scammer, often posing as a well-meaning, attractive person, will engage in friendly conversation and build an emotional connection. As they slowly gain the senior's trust, they may begin to share personal stories, often playing on the emotions of the victim by telling fabricated tales of hardship or personal crisis. Over time, they work their way into the senior's heart, and eventually their wallet. What starts as a genuine-seeming relationship quickly turns into an emotional trap, where the scammer tries to convince the victim to send money, often under the guise of an emergency. The victim may be asked to transfer funds for things like medical expenses, travel costs to visit the senior, or the cost of a supposed urgent situation. How romance scams develop. Initial contact. The scammer may first contact you through an online dating profile, social media message, or email, appearing to show genuine interest. They often claim to be in a different country, on a business trip, or living far away. This distance is intentional. Keeping the relationship online means that the scammer can manipulate the situation without ever needing to meet in person. Building trust and affection. Over weeks or months, the scammer builds an emotional connection. By engaging in constant communication, they will often shower the senior with compliments expressing love or deep affection very quickly. These scammers know that seniors, especially those who are isolated or lonely, may be more receptive to attention and affection. They may even claim to share similar values, interests, and goals, making the senior feel as though they've found a true soulmate. The emotional crisis. Once the emotional bond is sufficiently established, the scammer will claim to be in a crisis situation, whether it's a medical emergency, a sudden illness, or an urgent financial problem that requires immediate assistance. They will explain that they desperately need financial help to overcome the crisis, and because the senior now feels emotionally invested, they may feel compelled to help. The money request. This is where the scammer moves from emotional manipulation to financial exploitation. They will often request a large sum of money, explaining that it's for medical bills, travel expenses, or some other emergency. The senior, who is emotionally attached and believes in the legitimacy of the crisis, may feel guilty about saying no. The scammer may pressure the senior by saying things like, "If you truly love me, you'll help," or "This is my only chance to get out of this situation." The continuous cycle. If the senior sends money, the scammer may invent new reasons for needing more funds. The cycle continues as long as the victim keeps sending money. If the scammer's request is ever denied or ignored, they may become manipulative or even threaten to end the relationship. The goal is always to extract as much money as possible before the scam is exposed. Why seniors are often the target of romance. Scams, loneliness, and desire for companionship. Many seniors experience isolation, especially if they've lost a spouse, or live far away from family members. The emotional support that comes from a connection, especially one that promises love or companionship, can be incredibly appealing. Scammers exploit these emotions, capitalizing on the senior's need for connection. Trusting nature. Many seniors grew up in an era where trust and respect for others were paramount. Unfortunately, this trusting nature can make them more vulnerable to people who take advantage of their goodwill. Scammers know how to use this to their advantage, establishing a sense of familiarity and safety to manipulate the senior into doing things they normally wouldn't do. Financial stability. Seniors are often targeted because they may have savings, pensions, or stable income. Scammers recognize that older adults might have more financial resources and are often financially stable in their retirement years. These resources make seniors an attractive target for scam artists looking to make a quick profit. Lack of experience. With online risks, many seniors may not fully understand the complexities and risks of online communication. They might not be aware of the common warning signs of a scam, making it easier for scammers to trick them into believing that their intentions are genuine. Scammers often craft their messages with careful attention to detail, making them seem legitimate at first glance. Warning signs of a romance scam. Too much too soon. If someone you've met online expresses deep affection or love unusually quickly, it's a red flag. Genuine relationships take time to develop, while scammers often move quickly to establish a false sense of intimacy and trust. Requests for money. If someone you've just met online asks for money, even for an emergency, you should be highly suspicious. No legitimate person will ask for money from someone they haven't met in person, and especially not early on in a relationship. Stories that don't add up. If their stories seem inconsistent or too dramatic, it could be a scam. Scammers often come up with outlandish tales designed to pull at your heartstrings and get you to send money. Refusal to meet in person. If the individual constantly has excuses for why they can't meet you in person, that's a strong indicator that they're not who they say they are. A scammer will often claim that they are waiting for the right moment, or that circumstances are preventing them from meeting. Sudden financial crisis. A request for money due to an emergency, especially if it's an urgent need for a large sum, should raise immediate red flags. Scammers often create fake crises to justify financial requests. How to protect yourself from romance scams. Be skeptical of unsolicited messages. If someone you don't know reaches out to you on a dating site or social media platform, be cautious. Always verify the person's identity before engaging in deep conversations. Never send money to someone you haven't met. This cannot be stressed enough. Whether it's for travel, medical expenses, or an emergency, never send money to someone you've never met face to face. If someone is truly in love with you, they will not ask for financial help early in the relationship. Do your research. If you're suspicious, run reverse image searches on any photos you receive or search the person's name online. You can often find out if the photo or story is associated with a known scam. Talk to trusted family members. If you feel unsure about an online relationship, talk to your children, close friends, or other family members. They can offer a more objective perspective and may be able to help you identify red flags. Report suspicious activity. If you suspect that someone is trying to scam you, report them to the platform or website where you met them. You can also report the scam to local authorities or AARP's Fraud Watch Network. Overly nosy neighbors or acquaintances, the subtle invasion of privacy. While neighbors and acquaintances can sometimes become a valuable part of your social circle, overly intrusive individuals can be a significant cause for concern. These people often ask personal, uncomfortable questions about your routine, finances, or even your living arrangements. And though their curiosity may seem innocent on the surface, it can signal an underlying agenda. At first, these individuals might appear friendly, but when someone continually questions you about details that feel too personal, such as how often you're home, how much money you have, or when you expect family visits, it's important to step back and recognize that privacy is a right, not a privilege. The intention behind these questions can sometimes be to gather information for malicious purposes, such as to exploit your vulnerability or determine the best time to target you for scams, burglaries, or other harmful actions. Red flags to watch. For frequent inquiries into your schedule or finances, if someone consistently asks about your plans, how often you go out, or what time you leave for errands, it's a sign of intrusive behavior. A genuine neighbor or acquaintance will respect your privacy and won't press you for personal details. Excessive interest in your home or belongings. Another tactic is when these individuals constantly comment on the valuables in your home or ask about the security measures you have in place. This might seem like small talk, but it can be an attempt to figure out when you're away or to gauge your financial situation. Unsolicited help or over-the-top concern. While offering help is usually a sign of kindness, be cautious when the help is excessive or unwelcome, especially when the individual has previously shown interest in your personal life. They may offer to help in a way that gives them more access to your home or information. How to handle overly nosy neighbors or acquaintances. Set clear boundaries. Politely but firmly steer conversations away from personal topics. If they ask uncomfortable questions, you don't need to feel obligated to answer. A simple "I prefer to keep that to myself" can shut down the discussion. Avoid oversharing. Share only general, non-specific information with people who overstep. The less they know about your finances, schedule, or personal life, the better. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Trust your gut, and don't hesitate to distance yourself from anyone who crosses the line into too much personal inquiry. Engage family or friends. If you feel uncomfortable with the way a neighbor or acquaintance is behaving, talk it over with a trusted family member or friend. They can offer a fresh perspective and help you assess the situation. Remember, maintaining control of your personal information is essential for your safety and peace of mind. You don't owe anyone an explanation about your life, and a little healthy distance can go a long way in avoiding unwanted problems.